Hello Libra, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in detail each of the key dates and influences relevant for your sign. Now this month begins with the energy of the solar eclipse still pulsating out across the heavens, and that occurred on the last day of last month. This can last as long as 6 months. And the 8th house that it's influencing is very much to do with shared resources in a practical way, entrepreneurship. It can be to do with where we're most invested, where we're most dedicated, but it can also be to do with very, very deep transformations. And it is conjunct Uranus, the planet of change. And the first week of this month, Uranus remains pretty close to the Sun. So I think there could be some changes around where you're most invested, not just this month, but in the months to come. But the other big news story this month is that your ruler moves on the 2nd into your sector of relating, which can be a very positive transition. It's followed by Jupiter, the planet of growth, on the 10th, and then Mars on the 24th. And Jupiter and Mars come into a conjunction in the last week, which if you're single can be very exciting for your love life. So I think that combination between the Sun and Uranus and the solar eclipse is in some ways clearing the way for you to start afresh in all sorts of interactions with others. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to ascend above this Zodiac broadcast and understand what your personal situation holds in terms of your time, date and place of birth, please see my special offer below where you can get 30% off your character analysis and 12-month forecast combined. Gain searing insights into how things are unfolding for you as an individual. And finally, if you'd like to get your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link below too. So Libra, as you make your way into May, I do think there's going to be a lot of conversation and a lot of exchanges of information, and this is coming from the fact that Mercury is in shadow as this month begins, but in your 9th house, very much to do with travel. It can be to do with expanding your thinking. It could be to do with higher education, but because it's retracing its steps, which begins in earnest on the 10th, I think that there could be a lot that you need to digest. But of course that solar eclipse is ushering in a real period of potential change. The 8th house can be an area that we've put a lot of energy and effort into, but it also can be an area where things are going to come to an end. And because Venus, Jupiter and Mars are all moving into your sector of relationships, if a relationship hasn't been working very well for you, this can prime up a new time for you where you can build up new alliances with people that are more in keeping with your big aims and hopes. Now also at the start of this month, Jupiter and Pluto are in a very strong alliance. Pluto in your sector of home, emotion and security, and Jupiter in the part of your horoscope to do with practicalities. The two can be linked and collaborate very helpfully for you. But it is true from the 13th through to the 23rd, Mars is aligning with Neptune in the 6th house. Mars is about needing ego recognition. In the 6th house, we have to be more conscious about what we need to do for others. So your ability to be sacrificing could come to the fore. But equally, if you're too much of a good egg, your energy could decline because Neptune will in some ways water down the fire of Mars. It's important to stand up your own boundaries this month, and I think those 3 changes of Venus, Jupiter and Mars are going to help you do that. but there could be a little bit of a period there where you may be tempted to do too much, or perhaps you will resist what other people want from you. But on the 10th, Mercury does go into retrograde in your sector of truth. And maybe some issues that you've been finding a little bit difficult to understand or even relate to, maybe you're going to have to grapple with the reality. Jupiter will help you to do that because it's asking you to be a bit more detached about hearing other people's viewpoints. But there is a lunar eclipse at the heart of this month, and that is in a square with Saturn. Saturn's in your sector of warmth and affection, and of course Saturn isn't really known for its warmth and affection. So there's probably been a bit of a chilling around some associations over the last couple of years. It may have taken someone out of your world, like a romantic partner, or it may have made you much more realistic about romance and helped you to work very hard on your creative talents. Saturn works in very different ways from its reputation, but it is squaring with this lunar eclipse in your sector of everyday resources. So I think you may have to develop a new reality around your financial situation, and particularly around risk in the following 6 months. But on the 21st, the Sun's transition into your sister air sign of Gemini is about freedom. It's about being more adventurous. Ironically, Mercury inverses into your 8th house, which really is what the start of this month is very much about, and asks you to really dive deep around the details later in this month. But Mars's move on the 24th and then its combination with Jupiter is just really fantastic. It's going to embolden you. If you're someone who finds it difficult to ask for what you need, this will give you a lot more confidence. If you're a little bit tentative about reaching out to build relationships, for example, this will give you the power to attract some serious goodness and alluring glances in your direction. But you need to use this power wisely. Mars can, of course, in the sign of Aries, be very free-spirited. So Jupiter's just giving you the opportunity to modify things so it is for the greater good. But the 28th sees Venus, your ruler, move out of your sector of relating and into the 8th house. So any discussions or connections that you have been enjoying earlier in the month now reach the litmus test. And if someone is really right for you, now you're going to find that the attraction can become binding. If it's not so good for you, I think it will become much more obvious from the 24th to the 28th. But then on the 30th, there is the Gemini new moon. And I think this can be the point where all the transitions that go on this month really start to make sense. You've got all the information, you've made clear your boundaries, you've in some ways gained energy because other people are attracted to the energy you are giving out. But at the same time, now you want to be free of some of the heavier politics that has been hampering the lives of many Librans and Libran ascendants for some time. And it really is an exciting juncture as this month draws to a close. Please stay safe, take care, good luck, and goodbye for now.